In this lecture, we are going to discuss the concept of arrays in C language. Arrays is it's a very important topic in any programming language. See, an array is a finite set of homogeneous elements stored in contiguous memory locations. Like variables, an array is also stored in the computer's main memory, which is called RAM. Now see, what do we mean by homogeneous? Homogeneous means the elements which belong to the same data type. What I mean to say is, it's a set of values and all those values, they should belong to the same data type. If the array happens to be of int data type, all the elements should be int. If the array has been declared as float data type, all the array elements, they should be of float data type. I mean to say all the values of this array, they should belong to the same data type. An array is highly useful when we want to store multiple values belonging to the same data type. Let me show you with the help of an example. Suppose I want to store the social security numbers of 9 persons. Now, in order to store social security numbers for 9 persons, had I not been well versed with arrays, then I would have been required to declare as many as 9 separately named variables. First variable for storing the SSN of the first person, second variable with a different name for storing the SSN of the second person, and so on. And that would have been really very cumbersome, because had there been 100,000 or 10,000 persons, it would have been almost impossible to go for that. So what we can do is, we can declare an array. In a short while from now, I will tell you how to declare an array, but first let me show you the structure of an array. So here I have stored the social security number of the first person, 101 or whatever it is. This is the social security number of the second person. This is 103 is the social security number of the third person. 104 is the social security number of the fourth person, and so on. And 109 happens to be social security number of the ninth person. Now, how these values, which are called array elements, will be referred. Now, the first value in an array, that is the first element in an array, will be referred to as, first we will give the name of the array, and within square brackets we will write the subscript number, which is also called index. So SSN is the name of the array. When I would write SSN square bracket 0, that refers to the first element of the array, that is the first value of the array. Now SSN square bracket 1 refers to the second element of the array. SSN2 refers to the third element of the array, and so on. Keep one thing in mind. In C language and in many other languages also, the subscript 0, 1, 2, 3, these are called subscripts. The subscript always starts with 0. So again, here SSN is the array name. 0128, which we have written within square brackets, they are called subscripts. Some people call them indexes. Then SSN square bracket 0, SSN square bracket 1, SSN square bracket 2, they are the array elements. Here is another example. Here suppose I want to store the scores of 10 students. So I have taken the array name to be SC. It could be anything. So SC square bracket 0 refers to the first element of the array. That means it refers to the score of the first player, of the first student. SC1 refers to the score of the second student. SC2 refers to the score of the third student, and so on. In the last, SC9, because subscript starts from 0. So SC9 is referring to the 10th element of the array. That means it is storing the score of the 10th student. Okay, now we will see how to declare an array. How do we declare an array? The syntax goes like this. First, we are supposed to give the data type of the array, then name of the array, and within square brackets, we are supposed to mention the total number of elements that we want to have in this array. Now, technically this is called size. Float SC10. This is another declaration for a different array. Name of the array is SC, its data type is float, and 10 is its size. So whenever I will be storing the values into this array, all the values, they ought to be belonging to the float data type. In the above case, all the values, they should be of the int data type, because as I have told you, in the array we people store homogeneous elements, means all the elements, they belong to the same data type. Now, if we want to initialize the array elements, that means at the time of declaration of the array, we want to give the values. So what we are supposed to do is, we will give the data type, name of the array, and within square brackets, now mentioning the size is optional. Now I have given the values within curly braces block. We are supposed to give the values. The first value is 1, 5, 9, 10, 25. Now it clearly indicates that the first element, which is x0, will have the value 1. The second element, name of the array is x. The second element, that is x1, will refer to the value 5, x2 9, x3 10, x4 25. Similarly, float SC square brackets 1.2, 2.9 something. So in this case, the array happens to be a float data type, and I am initializing the values of the array elements. 1.2 is going to be the value of the first element, that is SC0. 2.9 is going to be the value of the second element, that is SC1, and so on. Now in this third case, I have declared an array called arr, size of which is 10, but see carefully, even though I have mentioned the size, which was optional, but this time over I have given the size at the time of initialization of array elements. The size is 10, but I have given only 2 values. Now what will happen is, the first array element, in this case that will be arr0, will be assigned the value 100. The second element arr square bracket 1, arr1, will be assigned the value 200. What about rest of the 8 elements? All rest of the 8 elements, they will be initialized with zeros. That means arr2 would be having the value 0, arr3 would be having the value 0 till arr9. All these values of these array elements will be zeros. Only the first value will be 100, arr0 value will be 100, and that of arr1 will be 200.